What I'm going to be talking about today is some things you should never talk to people about, never have a conversation about if you want to get out of it without hating each other or just being frustrated and walking away or ending in just an awkward situation. It's not going to end well, basically. I'm going to say it's three things. It might be less, it might be more, depending on how long I can talk about them. But first thing you never want to talk to anybody about, and this is a big one, is religion. Never talk to anybody about religion. You do not want to have a conversation about religion most of the time. Like, if you're just hanging out bullshitting with somebody, do not bring up religion. If somebody brings it up, just be like, I don't want to talk about it. Whether you're atheist, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, I don't even know how many religions, Jewish, I don't know, all those religions, whatever you are, do not speak on that, because it will not end well. It's just going to be, here's my opinion, here's your opinion, here's my quote-unquote facts, here are your quote-unquote facts, and people are just going to talk circles around each other. It's never going to end well, and it's just pointless. Believe what you believe, stick with it, all power to you. I'm not even going to talk about my religious beliefs or lack of, either one you want to guess, whatever. I'm not going to talk about it. It's just a dead subject you never want to talk about with anybody you care about. Unless you guys are like hella close, then you can go ahead and talk about that shit for hours. But if you're small talking with somebody, leave that shit out of the equation. Number two, politics. This time of year is a great example. If you've talked politics with anybody in the past few months, you've probably come to the conclusion that either they're an idiot, they're misinformed, or they're way more informed than you, and you got in way too deep and they just hit you with a bunch of facts, right? Most of us only know what we see on commercials or Twitter or debates, yada yada. We're not educated enough on politics to be talking about it. Same thing with religion. Most of us, whether believe in anything or not, we pretty much have no idea what we're talking about. So there's no point to sit and act like we do, which is what a lot of arguments are, is whoever can seem like they know the most, to be honest. So typically that's how politics is going to end. It's going to be, it's going to get thrown around and get all crazy, and no one's ever going to come to any conclusions. And at the end of that argument, same thing with religion, you're just going to agree to disagree and walk away, and you just wasted, it could be from 5 minutes to an hour of your life, if not more, arguing about that. Third thing you probably don't want to talk about with people is sports. Sports is probably the most mild of these topics to argue with somebody about or talk about, but most of the time you're going to talk about your legacy, your dynasty, what you've done in the past 10 years comes up if one of those doesn't work out well for you. You're going to talk about certain players. You're going to talk about this and that and championships and yada yada. But at the end of the day, it's just whatever team you bleed, whatever team you are passionate about, you're going to go with, and you're going to talk about whatever. And that's a big part of these issues is passion. They're all very emotionally charged topics to be talking about with somebody. So you probably shouldn't do that if you want to, not have the awkward moment at the end. Last thing, it just kind of popped up in my head when I was talking about politics, because a big thing in politics that gets brought up, especially nowadays, is race. Don't talk about race with anybody you want to be friends with, because chances are you're probably not going to agree on something, and it's going to freak you out, especially if you aren't the same race. Everyone's just going to get all wild. I will never speak on this with anybody that I know can't handle the conversation. Same with all of these things. Politics, it always gets brought up. Obviously, people think the man Trump or whatever is racist to people because he wants them. I'm not even gonna get too further. People think the man's a racist, right? And same with, it's pretty much ideologies in general, not just racism, like whatever you identify with and how you view that. Same with politics, whatever party you identify with. Your ideology is going to cause problems. So you don't want to talk about your ideology in general. Like, whatever government system you agree with, that type of shit, I wouldn't fuck with it if you want to not be annoyed. Feminism, you don't want to argue about that shit. That is a fucking black hole you don't want to step into. If any of you guys have ever encountered a feminist, it's awful. So basically, just if you wanna have an easy road through conversations and small talk, don't touch any of those topics. This is probably like a little bit of a scatterbrain calm, but if you guys did enjoy this or the gameplay, go ahead and drop a like on the video, leave your comments down below if you've experienced any of these things, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys next time.